Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel. Today is going to be a different kind of video. This is not going to be a tutorial. This is not going to be a short 5-minute video. This is going to be me trying out this state management library called Recoil.js and try to figure out how to make it work. So I never used Recoil.js before. This is going to be my first time trying to implement it, and this is going to be the first time I'm ever going to read the docs of Recoil.js and try to understand what it is and figure it out. So I'm hoping this is going to be like around 40 minutes length, the video length, and there's going to be a good probability that I'm not going to achieve anything in this 40 minutes. There's a good chance that this 40 minutes is just going to be me reading the docs, trying to figure out how stuff works. That's it. So I don't know how useful this is going to be. And just let's see how it goes anyway. So let's get started. I'm just gonna go to Recoil.js and see what it is. There we go. So Recoil.js. Now to implement this, I just created a new project using React app, and I'm going to open it. It's called test app. Oh, test app. I'm going to open it in VS Code, and I'm going to run this server. Right, that should start the server. Let me just go to the site. Bingo, so our app has started. So I'm going to try to implement what I learned from reading the docs of Recoil.js into this. Let's figure things out along the way. That's the whole point of this video. Trying to figure things out along the way. Right, so are we recording? There we are. Okay, so Recoil.js. What is Recoil.js? So Recoil.js is the state management library for React. So I hear that it solves all the global state issues. Like it basically, I think it's basically like what Redux does, but it's different, and I don't know how different it is, like what it offers to the table. So let's see. Let's go to docs. Oh, it has dark mode too. Right, so I'm going to use dark mode. I like dark mode. So let's see the motivation. What is he trying to tell? For reasons of compatibility and simplicity, it's best to use React's inbuilt state management capabilities rather than external global state. But React has certain limitations. Component state can only be shared by pushing it to common ancestors, but this might include a huge tree that needs to do. So he basically says that this is basically the problem that global state tries to solve. Not to share state and component between other components. If there's no global state, you need to share it via props. If that happens, then a lot of rerun occurs, which is a huge problem. Context can only store a single value, not indefinite set of values. Alright, so if you use context for your global state, he says that you can only store single values in them. Right, that makes sense. Both of these make their close split on top of the tree. Right, I don't understand what that means. But anyway, we want to improve this while keeping both the API and semantics and behavior of Reactish as possible. Recoil defines a graph orthogonal. I don't know what that means, but also I don't know what that means. And attached to a React tree. State changes flow from roots to this graph, which we call atoms, through pure functions, which we call selectors, and into components. With this approach, we get a boilerplate free API that where shared state has a simple get set reference of React's local state. Right. So I think what he's trying to do is trying to apply the concepts of React local state to get a global state. that doesn't still make any sense to me. Maybe it will make sense after we implement this. We have the possibility of compatibility with concurrent mode. Okay, the state definition increment close speed and we can target. Okay. I still don't understand how different it is, but what I understand is um, he's trying to like remove building safety rather than external. So I don't know. He's like saying it's not a global state, but it is a global state. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. So let's see. Core concepts overview. Recoil. Let's see. Create. Let's see. Wait, 1 minute. Okay. State management library. Okay. Let's core concept. Recoil. Let's see. Create data photographs from atoms through selectors. Okay. From so atoms is the share states. Through selectors are pure functions. So a pure function is nothing but a function that returns a definite value anytime. So no matter what input you give, it always gives the same output. So that is what a pure function is, as far as I know. And down into your React components, atoms are units of state that components can subscribe to. Selectors transform their state either synchronously or asynchronously. Alright, this thing makes sense. So what he's saying that atoms is a state. So atoms has the data, and I think a component that I create can like subscribe to the data so that it can get the data from the atom. And we have selectors. So selectors are stuff we use to manipulate the state. We can change the state either synchronously or asynchronously. Right, so again, if we implement this, it'll make a lot of sense. So we have atoms. Right, so I think this is the state. And then let's see, font button, recall state, font size state. Yes. So I think this is very similar to like what we do in selectors. Sorry, context. Right. So this is like a context that we have, and we get the data from context, and we can use it. Right. So we have font size, set font size. Where did we get set font size from? Let's see. Let's kind of read this through fast. Atoms are units of state. They are updatable, subscribable, not each renders. They can be created in runtime too. Atoms can be used in place of React local's component state. If the same atom is used in multiple components, all the components share the state. Okay. So what is the so this means that I think we can like replace the use state hook that we have in React hooks inside a component, and we can replace that with atoms. And the thing about atoms is that it's shareable also. We can use the state in one component in other components just by like importing them like this. Okay, so atom needs a unique key. So I think each and every atom needs a unique key, which is used for debugging, persistence, and other atoms. If it's an error, two atoms have the same key, global unique. Okay. To read and write an atom from a component, we used a hook called use recoil state. It's just like React use state, but now the state can be shared between components. So this is so React recoil state is very similar to the use state hook of React, but the only advantage that it has is shareability. You can share the state using this use call state in one component with other components. You can share the state in other components, which cannot be done using React use state. So this is how he solves the global state issue, I think. Right, so so that's enough for atoms. Now the second main thing, selectors. Selectors is used to update the state. Right, selectors used to calculate our state. Okay. Let's see this code. Let's try to understand what this code does. Right, so selectors also has a key, and then this is the function that is used to update this selector. Alright. Okay, now let's see. Okay, so that makes sense. I think that makes sense. It's still very theoretical to me. But let us start with installation. I'm going to install this in this project that I have created right now. Let's see. I npm install recoil installs this package into the project that I have created. Okay, this is some other project that I was working on. I'm going to close this. This is the test tab that I created for this recoil purpose. I'm going to go to app.js, which has the code. I'm going to remove all this. I'm just going to type in recoil, and this change should come over here. Where is it? Oh, there we have it. We have recoil. Right. By the way, it's raining outside. So the climate is nice. It's a good time to sleep. But I have this video to make. And also understand recoil JS, which would be a really cool thing. So installation, I installed this using npm ESLint. Okay, this is not what I don't need this for now. Getting started. Okay, basic tutorial. Okay, let's see installation. Okay, so recoil root components that use recoil state needs recoil root to appear somewhere in the parent tree. A good place to put this is in a root component. Right, so to use recoil.js to your app, you need to wrap the whole app with recoil root. So that is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to take this. So my parent app will be index.js, which has this app. So this app is this. So this is the parent. So let us wrap this with recoil root. So that's done. We wrapped the parent component with recoil root. But what are all these for? We're not using this. Okay. We'll implement character counter component in the following section. Okay. An atom represents a piece of state. This is what we saw before. But where do I keep this atom? Text state. Text state. Okay. Okay. What does this mean? Character counter text input. Set text. Okay. Echo text. Just a minute, guys. I'm trying to understand what this is. Okay, so character counter. What does character counter mean? Text input. Character count. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, okay. Let's see. Let's check this out. Wait, what do you have in basic tutorials intro? Does he give the same example? Oh, he has a to-do list for. Okay, that's good. Oh, okay. Right, I think I understand. I think I understand what's going on. We're going to implement this first, and then we'll implement only the add part in to-do list, which we'll try to like share that state between components, which is the main thing that Recoil.js offers us. So let's see. I'm going to start this. So atom. So I'm going to create an atom first. So everything is going to be in this app.js. Right. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to call this text state. Similarly, what he's doing, which will be atom. Okay. But from I need out. Oh, okay. Auto import. Awesome. And this thing needs a key, a unique key. I'm just going to name this one text. I can have this anything I want, and then the default value for this. Let's just put it as empty string. Did I do things right? Right. Okay. So default value. Right. So since that's done, you can implement this. So similarly, atom, I'm going to get the use recoil state hook. Use recoil state hook, and I'm going to kind of text set text equals use recoil state, and we need to pass on this over here. Right, atom is not defined. Okay, that was a problem. So we have text. So recoil. I'm going to display this text, and then my next objective would be to update a text with an input. So input on change, it's E, and then I'm going to use set text to update this text, which is binded to this default using the React recoil state. E dot target dot value gives me the value of the input as a change. Right, so ideally what should happen now is as I type this input, the text should get, basically the letters that I'm typing in the input should be shown over here, and everything will be controlled by recoil state. So let's go here. Now as I type, wow, it's working. So I can type whatever I want, and all the value gets binded to the state using recoil state as we change the input's value. So the thing is, we have a local state in this component, but it is not implemented using React's useState hook. It is implemented by Recoil, and I believe what Recoil does is the advantage of Recoil is that I can share this state in other components, right? I can share this text in other components without passing them via props, right? So that is what I'm going to do next, trying to figure out sharing. After that, I'm going to check out what selectors are. If that works, I think I can end this video. So let's see. I'm going to just name this component as 1.js. I'm going to have a simple boilerplate. 1, and then just give a text component 1, and I'm going to render this component over an app. Import 1 from 1, and I'm going to render this over here in a separate div so that I get this in a new line. 1, right? So I need to get the text of the component 1. So this whole stuff comes from our app.js. This comes from our one component. So what I want to do is I want to pass on this text value to 1.js without passing this value as props through this component. So that means I can share this state over in here. So how can I do that? Let's see. What I think is I need to export this, and I can import it over here from oh wait, I don't know whether this is going to work or not. It's called text state, and then I need this hook, use recoil state hook, and then I'm going to get the text from this text state that we have over there in app 1, and now I just print out this text over here. So if everything works fine, I should get the data displayed over here. in component 1. Let's see if this is working or not. Okay, it's working. Isn't this great, guys? This is really awesome. This is really beautiful. So what we have is we have a sort of React use state in app.js, but we just share the state in app.js in component 1 without passing it through props. Basically, we have it in a sort of a global state, which is awesome, which is really awesome because this is like sort of what React does, but Redux does. It's basically shareable state in components. So I have a global state in app.js which can be shared anywhere I want to, and it removes all the configuration of Redux. If you have used Redux before, there's a lot of configuration, there's a lot of boilerplate that you need to add before you a Redux install, and this is an easy global state implementation. Like, it's just as easy as giving you state hooks inside your components. That is how easy it is. As we saw, we just created this and we just imported this over here and we got the state. And similarly, I believe we can also update the state over here, right, in this 1.js. Let's check that out, whether we can update the state. And I'm going to have the same input that we have over here. Right. So the thing is, if I update in this input, it should also update this text. So I update here, I get the value over here. If I update here or here, also then this value and this value should get updated, which it does. So if I add it over here, it's updated. If I add it over here, it's updated, but it doesn't get appended. I don't know why it doesn't get appended. Basically, if I update over here, the whole value changes, right? So that is because the state is not unique. I think when I use this over here, it belongs to this component. When I use this over here, it belongs to this component. Right. It is still a bit confusing though, but one thing is I can share state between components easily. Updating is a bit weird. We'll see that now, I think. So yeah, I hope all this is making sense to you guys. If you managed to stay this long in this video, awesome. I really appreciate it. Right, so I'm going to check out. So Atom, I think it's a bit clear to me. I can create a state, I can share the state, but what is selectors? So I'm going to check out selectors. I'm going to wrap it up after checking out selectors, and then in the next video, I'm going to build something using something complete, maybe a to-do list using Recoil.js. Right, so let us check out what selectors is. Selector represents a piece of derived state. Derived state is a transformation of state. You think of it with derived state of output passing the state in pure function modifies the state in some way. Right, so this is used to modify state. But I don't think it's a good practice to modify state using set state that we did before, set text that we did before. Maybe selectors are a better option to do that. Right, so let's see. Character count state. Okay. Oh, okay, right. So what this does is, so we have selector over here, and then get text state. Oh, okay. This thing makes sense. Right. So what is going on here is, let's just say I want to like with the state that I have in Recoil.js, I want to kind of like update some value. That is what he does. So what selector does, it gets the state in the it gets the current state that is there in the component, and you can play with it. You can do whatever you want to. So your selector, you have this get function that gets the state. So using this get, we get the text state that we defined over here. Text state as our string. So text is the string that we have, and he just returns the length of the string. That's where he gets the count value, right? So okay, that's cool, but this thing still doesn't make any sense to me because yeah, I still don't understand how this all connects together. Is it a good way to, how can I use selectors to kind of like update the state. That is confusing. Why can't I just do something like this instead of using selectors? So I can do something like count. I can just do something like text.length, and I can do the same thing over here as well, right? Count in component 1. So I have count 0, count 0. So we see we get the count, but the state resets whenever we change components, which I don't understand why it's happening. But maybe that is this problem that selector side tries to solve. Maybe, maybe. So let us try this out. Let us take this, let us put this in app, let us export this. Oh, character count state, selector, and I'm going to just put character count state over here, and then in 1.js I'm going to import that character count state, and I'm going to put this over here. What difference does it do? Like we did text.length directly, and we have a character count state from selector. Is there any difference between these two approaches? Right, there seems to be some weird error. Objects are not valid in as React child element for an object with keys. What does that mean? Where is the issue, I wonder? Get. Okay. Text state. Get character count selector. Okay, I think this is all good. Maybe this import is a problem. I'm going to remove this import. Let's see if it's working now. I get the same error. Then I think the problem is with this character count state that we have. Yes, so something is wrong with the selector that we just created. What am I doing wrong? Oh, okay. So we need to use the we need to use the use recoil value hook to use the selector. Okay, let's try that out then. So use recoil value, and let's see. Okay, so const count use recoil value. I need to just pass in this that we have over here, and then if I take this, put it over here, I need to get the count working fine. So we have the count working fine. Now let us take this and put it over there in component 1. Now we need the use recoil value, and then here I need to get the count character count state, and then just do the same thing that we did over here, and then we can just use this count to see if there's any difference between the previous approach and the new approach. Do we have any difference? Right, there is no difference. So in the previous approach also we just got the same results between that and this. Maybe as I use this more, I will understand what is going on. Nothing. Okay. So let us continue from here now. What do we have over here? We have a to-do list, right? So getting started page. Then we have more on atoms. Okay, to-do list for atoms. Right. So atoms. Maybe if I see this, I'll understand about the selectors. So to-do list set input value. Okay. Okay. So he's also updating this using the set to-do list. Okay. So set to-do list is, oh, okay, so we have this, and it's also using useState. Oh, okay, this useState is for the single input uh, value, I think, yeah. And then we take this value and put it in over here. Use recoil value is what we use for the state, basically the atom, and this is what we use to update the state. Okay, okay. This is like little bit trying to making sense. Let us do this in a different way, right? So instead of, I'm going to do a small thing. I'm not going to use set text. I'm going to use the selectors to update the text instead of using set text. So let us do that now. So this is basically what I'm trying to do is understand understand the selector hook in recoil, right? So what I can do is selector get, okay, how do I pass values? Add item, okay, so I think I can't pass values. Maybe I can. Okay, so character count state, get okay, it gets the old state. Okay, so what I want to do is text is the old state. I wanted to like append text with something, right? So let me just put value over here, and then over here what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this count. Okay, I removed the count already. I'm going to call, wait a minute, what is he doing? To-do list can be a function or as well, right? So update text, update text. Okay, so I can do something like, so update text. Okay. Oh, okay. So what I can do is I can just return the text that I have from the state, and update text basically returns the old text that I have, text, right? And I can return e dot target dot value. Now let's see what happens. Is there any change? Okay, there seems to be no change. Maybe if I display this over here, does anything happen? Update text is not a function. Okay, so this is not a function. Recoil state. Oh, okay. So he's not using any kind of, oh, I'm really stupid, guys. I'm really stupid. I thought this was a selector, but this is not a selector. This is just the atom. He's updating the to-do list with the atom. God, I wasted some time, but this is the part of the process, guys. This is how you do something and you fail and you understand what's going on. So what I understood from this is you can update the state in an atom with the function in an atom itself, similarly what we did over here. But what is like really confusing for me, you can basically use this set text to update the atom state. What I don't understand is the selector concept. If I can update the state in an atom with the function that the atom gives, why do I need selectors for? So it represents a piece of derived state. You can think of a derived state as an output of passing state to a pure function that modifies the given function in some way, right? I think this is like my final conclusion. I think this selector is something very similar to the I think create select, React selectors. What is React selectors? Where is React selectors npm? There's a library for this. Oh, okay, I think this is the library. No, this is not the library. So basically, reselect. Yes, yes, yes. This is the library. So I think this is what select tries to do, right? So what reselect does is basically, based on the state that is there in Redux, I can kind of like modify the state and I can send it to the components. If you have used reselect before, that is what it does. So it basically gets the state from Redux, and I can kind of like update the state whatever I want. Instead of having the state calculations inside the component, I can have it using reselect, and reselect is far more efficient than doing all this state manipulation in the component. Right, so I think that is what selectors does. Again, the name is kind of the same. It says they both have select. So I think this is what selectors does. So right, so I think we can build a to-do list just by using the atoms. But in order to like, if I have a situation where I need to display something in a component, manipulating the state that is there in atoms, I can use selectors, very similar to what we did in reselect. And also this is exactly what we did, what this guy did in this getting started. So using selectors, so where is that count? Yeah, using selectors, he did not update the state in the atom, but what he did is kind of manipulate the state in the atom. So so he just returned text.link. This thing has nothing to do with updating the state over here, right? So this gets updated, and with the state that we have over here, we kind of like do whatever we want to it and display it how we want, if that makes any sense, right? So I think I kind of understand what an atom is. I kind of understand what a selector is, and I understand what problems Recoil JS is trying to solve. I think what we can say is it's like Redux on hooks without all the configuration of Redux. Right, so two important concepts: atoms and selectors. Atoms used to update and define a state. Selectors are like reselect, I think, for Recoil JS. So yeah. So how long? I think it is more than 40 minutes, I don't know, but I'm gonna stop this video right now. If I'm wrong anywhere, please let me know in the comments or Twitter or anything. Follow me on Twitter. Yeah, so yeah. So this is my journey through Recoil.js, reading the docs, trying to understand what it is, and I think it was a good progress. We understood what Recoil.js is, implemented it based on the documentation, understood what atoms and selectors are, understood how we can share the atom between components, which we did from app.js to one. Yeah, so let me know what you think about this video in the comments. I hope if you stayed until the end, awesome. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Yeah, so I'm going to do a video, much more cleaner video on Recoil.js once I understand it completely. So yeah, I'll do it pretty soon. All right, guys. If you found this useful, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.